I'm Insomniac.
I'm Pops.
And this is Shooting the Shit,
a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
Alright, so this is episode 7 of Shooting the Shit, a.k.a. Chatting with Pops. And last episode was a riot. This episode's definitely a little bit different, but we thought this was a pretty interesting topic. Actually, it's 2 topics picked by 2 different patrons, but they're semi-related because they both involve celebrities. The first one is from Brad. Yeah, I'll just put the name up on screen here because there is no chance in this world that I'm going to ever pronounce that last name. Sorry about that, Brad. Yeah. And that question is, if you could smack one famous person in the face, who would it be and why? That's awesome. And the other one is from Diesel Fan. It says, if you could interview one famous person from history, dead only, who would it be? So these are actually pretty tough questions. Yeah, I think we'll start with the one that's a little bit less funny, but equally as interesting, if not more, which is, if we could interview one famous person from history, dead only, who would it be? We will start there. Yeah.
Well,
who would you interview?
Well, I would interview Buddy Rich, who, you know, in a sense, drum-wise, someone I idolize.
He's famous. I mean, even if you're not a drummer, you know who Buddy Rich is.
Right. The thing is, when I was about 13, and I actually went to see Buddy Rich a couple times, and I actually met him and got his autograph and stuff, and he was a fucking a-hole. He really was an asshole. And I saw that for myself, and then years later, as an adult, I couldn't believe the things I heard and seen that he did. But I would love to interview him, and that's exactly what the topic would be. Why are you such a fucking asshole? So, and I think it would be more about his perfectionism, but that I didn't like about him. So that would be the main question, and then other than that, there would obviously be, drum questions. I mean, the man was, hate to say this, but he's just like a god of drums, and still is. No one will ever touch him, so. Well,
yeah, what would you ask him?
Yeah, I mean, about drumming.
Other than why he's an asshole.
Yeah, right. Like about drumming, I would ask him, man, how he developed his left hand. I mean, he did a left hand roll or single stroke roll like nobody else. He would just keep that moving, stop his right hand. I mean, I would ask about that, how he perfected that. I mean, I think I know what the answers would be with all the years that I'm playing and have really perfected a lot of things myself. That would, it would definitely be drum questions. That would be one. I would love to ask him, why he selected certain drum sets and stuff, but I would think that was really more about sponsoring, because when you're playing a high-end kit, it's a high-end kit. Just drum questions, about his foot, things he did, the syncopation, the way he's, swung, just, it would be questions about that.
If I had to interview one person who is dead, it would actually be Martin Luther King. Oh. That's who I'd like to interview, and especially now, because what I'd want to ask Martin Luther King, if I could ask him any questions now, would be what the right path is, with the way everything's going on now. Because that guy had it right. That was when the civil rights thing, actually was a big problem, and race relations were at their worst. But he had the right attitude and the right spin on everything. It was all about actual peace and unity. I'd like to pick his brain to get his, thoughts on what's happening now. Because you didn't put the question into context as to whether or not I'd be taking a time machine back then or whether or not I'd be able to interview this dead person now. Right. But if I could interview this person now, I'd love to ask him his take on everything that's going on now and, what really needs to be done and changed in order to make all of this work, because I think that was a blessed man, and he really had the right outlook on all of this and knew how to make it swing. So, of course, other than that, I'd like to ask him some questions about, back in his time and the struggles he faced, because that's an incredible story. I know there's books and all that, but, obviously, talking to somebody face to face, you get a whole different vibe and a whole different perspective as opposed to books written about somebody. So I think that would be really cool.
Great choice.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. Honorable mentions? Who else maybe would you like to We're going to throw in we don't want this episode to be too short, so we'll throw in a couple of extras here.
Yeah. I mean, just so many that are dead. My gosh, man. Jimi Hendrix. Go from Jimi Hendrix to Frank Sinatra to Dean Martin. I mean, so many. And today, Jerry Lewis just passed away.
Oh,
I mean,
did
yeah, he just passed away today.
Is that the guy that married his cousin?
No, not Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh.
Jerry Lewis that ran the telethon.
Oh.
Yes.
Pick one or two of them, and what would you want to know?
Well, I already seen Jimi Hendrix answer the question of, you know, how he just played by ear. But I would have loved to have picked his brain more about, you know, how did he develop that, and you know, just hear all that. You know, I mean, I heard some of these questions.
I'd love to know how he taught himself to play the guitar
upside down.
That's
so yeah.
awesome.
There would be lots of questions.
If I were to have an honorable mention of somebody I'd like to interview, they'd be a music industry person too. It'd actually be Michael Jackson.
Well,
and,
another great choice.
The first question I'd ask him, again, if it's in the context of I'm asking them questions now, would actually be what the hell happened. Because other than 9/11, he seems to be one of the biggest mysteries on the planet as to what really happened, and I'd like to know, because that sucks. And then, of course, obviously, I'd spend 20 minutes of this video if I were to ramble on all the questions I think I'd have for him about his life and his techniques and about his experiences, because again, the guy was basically a mystery and one of the most interesting people ever and one of the most talented people
Absolutely,
ever.
one of the greatest.
So,
no question.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Martin Luther King beats him out a little bit for me, but Michael Jackson would be, I think, my honorable mention there. That would be a kick-ass interview.
2 thumbs up for Michael.
So yeah, that's who we'd interview and why. That's a good question. That makes you think. I like that.
Yes, and believe me, we could go on all night again. We really could.
That's right.
And he hit some good ones. Hey, you know, I'm just thinking about my era and stuff, but
they're all good ones.
Good.
On the less serious side of things, the other question, which was if we could smack one celebrity, who would it be? You know, go ahead. Who would you like to smack?
Well, I was thinking.
And why?
I was thinking about this. Charlie Sheen is a fucking moron. Oh, here we go. The fucking drinking. Here we go. Every week there has to be.
I didn't want to lean over this time, so it was in my pocket.
Oh, Christ. What the fuck? Yeah, so then he fucks me up when I gotta talk about what I'm talking about.
I'm taking a break while you're doing your thing. What am I gonna do?
Fucking
drink.
Shit.
You don't want some?
No, I don't. Every fucking week. Don't ask me no more. I don't fucking want any.
All right.
Talk about slaps. I think he needs a slap for sure. Let me get back to Charlie. Charlie is a fucking moron. This is a guy who has everything going for him. And, you know, he fucking has AIDS, puts all kinds of people at risk, doesn't seem to give a fuck. I guess he's mentally ill or something. They don't seem to be treating that properly.
You guess?
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem to be...
Tiger blood guy might be mentally ill. What a fuck up.
Right. So I get, but I don't think they're treating that. I don't know what the fuck they're treating.
I guess until you're an actual criminal, they're not allowed to forcefully treat anything, so that's up to him.
He's a fucking douchebag, so he irks me. And again, here again is a topic where we could vent all night, and this actually would be a longer episode than you think, because there's a lot of other people. And if I could just throw in an honorable mention.
Well, no, we'll get to the honorable mentions next.
Fucking Charlie, you're a douchebag.
Charlie, you're a douchebag. All right. If Charlie Sheen actually were to see this episode, that would be a miracle. Yeah. Although you're all welcome to share these episodes. Yeah. So maybe if somebody out there knows Charlie Sheen, share this with him. I don't really give a shit what he thinks of us.
Fucking idiot.
If I had to smack one celebrity, it would actually be a music person. And for those of you watching this who are actually old school Should I Smoke This followers, and you remember back when I used to do those rant videos, I'd had a few of those.
Yeah.
Phil Collins.
Oh,
Phil fucking Collins. And I might actually post either the whole rant or parts of the rant here in the video.
Yeah, do that.
For those of you, I might actually do a quick cut and show you the rant video. It's only 60 seconds long.
I'm not really sure what sparked my strong dislike for Phil Collins, but I am sure he's the second worst European disease to come here since the plague that wiped out the Native Americans. Philip David Charles Collins.
Crack-ass white boy.
Somehow won 7 Grammys, a bunch of other shit, and a super cute Disney award. Fucking kids all up with his music. Is a shit song. A shit song. As a drummer myself, it pains me to hear his name come up as a famous drummer. I'd still be a more impressive drummer than Philip Collins if I could only use my for a drumstick. Phil Collins is on a top 3 list. So is Ted Bundy. I take this guy more seriously. Shove your terrible music up your Disney-loving ass.
But I don't know the guy personally. I don't know if he's a good guy or not. Honestly, I know nothing about him. But his music and his voice, and there's some kind of cocky bullshit horribleness about him. I want to smack that guy in the face so fucking bad just for ruining everybody with his music. I have no idea why this guy has fans.
He has a whole rant.
Fucking Phil Collins. I'd like to punch that guy right in the face. It's actually a bucket list item. I might go to prison, but if I ever catch that guy in the States, I'm gonna have to punch him in the face.
My only beef with you, Phil, is you're way overrated fucking drummer.
He sucks.
Overrated.
He is a shit
fucking
drummer.
Way overrated. And so many others.
That's all there is.
We'll get to that. A guy brought up that topic. We'll get to that.
Yeah, he's shit. If you honorable mention, who you got?
Kanye West, another motherfucker who I don't know is being treated for his mental illness.
Yes.
And I know he had a bad car accident, a head injury, but what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
And I'll throw in one positive.
Off.
When Kanye was more of a producer than he was a pop star and rapper, he was because I did, for those of you who don't already know this, all the music that you hear on this channel all the time is stuff that I produced when I was working with No Name. Some of you guys remember that from back in the day. And I have to say that in terms of, iconic producers, some of the guys that I looked up to for the short stint that I was doing digital production, Kanye was one of them. Not new Kanye, but back in the day Kanye, when he was working with Common and, when he was doing his early stuff, I mean, he was one of the best producers there was. But what an egotistical fucking...
He's a fucking idiot.
That guy, see, that's what he's missing. Nobody's walked up to him and just punched him in the face.
Right, I mean, again,
and I think
I would slap him senseless.
Maybe that would knock something loose. I would agree with that one.
Fuck him.
He would actually probably be on my list.
I'm not talking about his talent. I'm talking about he's a douchebag.
Well, his talent's limited too.
Disrespectful fuck.
His talent's definitely limited too. Like I said, he was an amazing producer, but even now, his production style, he calls himself the Andy Warhol of rap. It's really just like... It's a fucking... It's kind of like modern art, which really isn't art. It's just shit. And then people try to look at it from different perspectives. His stuff is not really art anymore. I'd like to smack Steve Zuckerberg. The CEO of Facebook. And not just because he looks like a douche, but he just has douchebag face. So I'd like to smack him just for that. But Facebook pisses me off. First of all, the whole idea of Facebook pisses me off. I didn't really want one in the first place, but somehow everybody in the world gets sucked into it. Then it becomes like this extra part of your life that you have to keep up with, extra drama, more people finding you that you didn't want finding you. Jesus. My other problem, though, is the fact that Facebook never seems to work right, whether it be on my computer, whether it be on my phone. For the amount of billions of dollars this guy has, and for, how special he thinks he is.
He's always fucking with it.
You think, that too. It changes all the time. Stop fucking with Facebook and maybe take some of that R&D and time and maybe put it into fixing Facebook so it works.
Facebook is actually fucking trouble half the time. It's fucking horseshit.
Then Steve Zuckerberg can kiss my ass.
I mean, I'd like to fucking line some people up like Rosie O'Donnell, Joy Behar from The View, and fucking Madonna. Line them up and smack them like the fucking Three Stooges. You're fucking idiots. There are some fucking morons out here that act like they're representing someone. Who the fuck do you really represent? Morons? So, I don't know.
Who are you? Like these people all think they have some kind of fucking moral compass.
Yeah.
Like you are the moral compass and you're gonna guide people in the right
direction. Rosie O'Donnell?
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell. There's a role model for you. Well, let's listen to what she has to say.
Madonna, you've been finished, washed up. You never were any fucking good. Actually, I liked you back in the 80s, but you were never any fucking good. You're washed up. You can't sing. You're fucking half a talent.
And look at her now.
I mean,
God.
and your fucking mouth is running.
Please put a paper bag over your face,
where the fuck do you have any room to say shit?
Oh.
But, again, like I said, I'd like to line them up and smack them like the Three fucking Stooges. I mean,
I want to line up most of Hollywood and the music industry on the side of a street somewhere and just go down the street at 90 with my hand out the window. So I could just take care of this episode in short and just smack them all.
So you're too young to remember the Little Rascals.
Why, they did that?
No, they got in a car, was going down a hill, and the fucking was a boxing glove, and it was fucking knocking everybody the fuck out. That's awesome. That's about right. Line them the fuck up.
We need that, but on Hollywood Boulevard, and then we could take care of this episode quick. Well, I thought this was a good episode. It was a short episode, but definitely entertaining, also thought-provoking. So thank you to the two patrons who picked the kind of combined topic.
I tell you, he picked some good ones on the other topic. I just start
thinking, man.
Well, I start thinking about my era, but Michael, tremendous, Martin Luther King. Oh my God, this guy should be talked about every fucking day.
But anyway, like I said, I thought this was a cool episode. This was episode 7, right?
7, yeah.
Tune in next time for episode 8. I will post the question again as I've been for new topics, and like we tell you every week, we haven't skipped over your other topics. They're all still on the list, and we will get to them. We just look through every week and select what we think will be fun for this week, but they're all still there. But feel free to submit more. Feel free to share this episode, because the more the merrier.
Yeah, share it. Please share it. My friends, share it with everybody.
Yeah, I don't share it only because obviously part of what I'm giving to you as a patron is the exclusive part of what we're doing here. So I'm not going to put these episodes out, but he can. You guys can share it, because then also, maybe people will see this, they'll want to get in on the weekly action, and they'll sign up, which is actually a help. So
Absolutely.
That's good stuff. But anyway, thanks.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
That's it. We'll see you next time.